Okay, now this. Donald Trump gave a campaign speech in New Hampshire yesterday. And let's just say, in all seriousness, by the way, this is not a joke. If Joe Biden had said the things that Trump said, most Republicans would be calling for him to be put in an old age home.
I'm for us. I'm for us. You know how you spell us, right? You spell us, U.S. I just picked that up. Has anyone ever thought of that? I just picked that up. A couple of days I'm reading and it said us. And I said, you know, if you think about it, us equals U.S. We had that all set to go, but then we had a little election that went astray. So we have to be careful. You got to get out there and you got to watch those voters. You don't have to vote. Don't worry about voting. The voting, we got plenty of votes. You got to watch election night. You know, it used to be election day, election night. Now it's election month. Now it's election period. Some of these things going for 53 days. It's terrible. Viktor Orban. Did anyone ever hear of him? He's probably like one of the strongest leaders anywhere in the world. And he's the leader of, right? He's the leader of Turkey.
Yeah. Willie, first of all, I just picked that up. Us and U.S. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Don't worry about voting. Secondly. Third, Orban, of course, maybe he's never even visited Turkey. I don't know. Maybe the leader of Hungary has visited. But it's troubling to me. He calls Orban one of the strongest leaders and says it in a wonderful way. Orban, of course, is the person who shut down all of his opponents politically. He's tapped reporters' phones. He's destroyed independent news agencies. He's led phony tax investigations into reporters that were critical of him, chased them from the country, brags that he's an illiberal. That they have illiberal democracy and not Western-style democracy. And again, there's a guy who keeps thinking he's running against Barack Obama. Not doing well.
No, as Mika said, if that were Joe Biden, they'd be running wall-to-wall on certain networks with medical experts describing what was happening here and why he needed help and why he should probably step off the stage. I would add in, Joe, to the collection of comments that he made yesterday. He compared himself to Nelson Mandela, who, of course, spent nearly 30 years in prison for fighting apartheid in South Africa, saying if he goes to jail, he's happy to be just like Mandela. Also promised in his next term to build, like Israel, an iron dome over the United States. Israel, of course, is the size of New Jersey, so that would be a heck of a project for the United States to undertake. But Caddy K, this is the man who has been frankly marginalized by this war, by the gravity of what's been happening for the last couple of weeks. As he has said, Hezbollah was, quote, very smart, again, blaming Israel yesterday for what happened to them, a terrorist attack against them, and periodically visiting courtrooms across the country in between.
Yeah, I mean, telling your supporters that they don't need to worry about voting is certainly a novel strategy. It's not one I've ever heard on an American presidential election before. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how much Donald Trump's diehard supporters have any of their views changed by the comments he made about Hamas, which I think probably will have hurt him more than the kinds of things he said last night. But as we all know, this election is only going to be decided by about 100,000 people in 5 states. And if some of them are watching that kind of thing and seeing him confuse the leader of one country with another at a time when we are in a critical situation around the world, that could give pause to some of those people who may have been wavering, you know, in the middle, to think, actually, this is somebody who we can't trust with the security of global affairs.
Well, again, a guy who thinks he's running against Barack Obama, who hasn't run for president in 11 years.
It's kind of frightening listening to him.